lot of people are very unfamiliar with that term, and that's because we basically invented it at NewMind. Traditional neurofeedback just treats the symptoms. You've got a headache, let's train there. You can't pay attention, let's train there. Functional neurofeedback goes a step beyond that and says, what's the source of the problem? So we kind of imported it from functional medicine. You go to a functional medicine doctor, and he doesn't say, oh, you got a headache, take an aspirin. He says, well, let's interview, let's talk. Let's find out about your family, your lifestyle. Do you have allergies? What foods do you eat? Are you sensitive to any of them? Are you under a lot of pressure at the job? All of those things can cause a headache. They can also cause problems with attention. So when people come with a symptom, you want to get at the source of what the symptom is. And that's really important, and that's the concept behind functional medicine.
And addressing the source is vital because globally, you're more effective at solving problems when you're looking at it functionally.
It also looks at each individual uniquely and doesn't say, oh, you have this problem, here's this pill, or you have that problem and here's that fix. We look at each individual understanding how they're all unique and different, and so it's very patient-centered. And the patient and the practitioner work together. It's not the doctor or the psychologist or whoever just saying, I'm here to fix you. It's we have to work together. We're probably going to have to make changes in your lifestyle. And we need to change the big picture because we need to change your whole psychophysiology as a system. And that's the concept behind functional neurofeedback. NewMind was one of the first neurofeedback approaches to even consider that. I spent years talking about it at meetings and writing about it. It didn't catch on really quickly because people weren't used to that idea. They were thinking, oh, well, the neurofeedback will just fix everything and we don't have to fix anything else. And that was the problem with that perspective, is that neurofeedback doesn't fix everything unless you also support the psychophysiology, the biopsychosocial system in as many ways as possible, because neurofeedback doesn't force a change, it invites a change. What else is important about the concept of a patient-centered functional neurofeedback approach? Well, besides the patient and the practitioner working together, that approach empowers the patient. The patient is not just a passive agent in the process, not just a traveler on the train or the plane. They can do something to help themselves, and you want to enroll them in the process of helping themselves, because that's what gives them a sense of possibility, of hopefulness, and empowers their change. We have to consider lifestyle in all of its aspects and really interview a person really well and get to know, what medicines they're on, how they're sleeping, are they exercising, are they taking any drugs or drinking besides pharmaceuticals, what pharmaceuticals are they taking, how are they getting along with their spouses or their friends. All of these things come into play, and they're important components to consider in contributing to neurofeedback as an effective methodology. Well, it involves a more in-depth assessment, as I just mentioned, and a more global assessment, as I just mentioned. We want to get a full biopsychosocial picture. We want to look at all the externalities. Your health is like a series of Russian dolls. It involves your ecosystem, your social system, your family, your physiology, your nutrition, how you eat. All of those things come down, and your brain is kind of the monkey in the middle. It mediates, it kind of gets everything connected together and working together. Your brain is to help you navigate all these systems so that you can be effective and that you can access the social resources you need to thrive as a human being. We want to get the big picture and look at all of these things. So we use a multiple set of proprietary statistical tools that we've developed to do this. And they're all aggregated in one place for this purpose alone. The NewMind system was developed specifically to be used. All the assessment tools were developed specifically to be used with neurofeedback and with biofeedback as well, and to consider changes based upon that system and assessing everything based on a psychophysiological model. So psychophysiological is a concept that is fundamental to biofeedback in general, the Association for Psychophysiology, and central to the concept of neurofeedback as well. A very famous investigator of complex trauma said, "The body keeps the score," and it does. That what first starts out, as we recognize in the ACE studies, as stress and developmental trauma and being overwhelmed in childhood turns into physical disorders as well as psychological issues because it accumulates in the body. These stressors begin to aggregate in the body. The body is kind of like a collective system for all of the stresses that we encounter.
We bring all of these tools and assessments into one beautiful report that makes it easy for you to understand and easy for you to explain what's going on to the client, which is extremely important in recognizing the complexity of presenting problems.
It empowers the patient. Traditionally, the patient is there to get fixed. The client comes to be repaired. But in functional neurofeedback, the client is coming for a coach, for guidance, for support, as well as for training. And this gives them some power over the process of their own healing. All our research tells us that that's crucial. It's more individualized and it addresses the client's unique presentation of the problems that they have. The client notices that level of personalization and it's important to them. It's been reported in JAMA and a lot of other journals that the most important component, or at least 50% of important components that contribute to good outcomes, good recovery of a client, whether it's medical or psychological, is the client-doctor or the client-clinician relationship. And one of the best ways to develop that is to show authentic concern and to develop a trusting relationship and to really know your client in all aspects of their life so that you can address their needs at every level.
It really uncovers clinical confounds that hinder or impede progress. Again, if you're not looking at some of these confounds together and just trying to use an electrode and run a one-size-fits-all protocol, it's hard to get the consistent results in clients that you're looking for.
We are pioneers in this approach. We've developed, tested, and proven our functional neurofeedback method for 2 decades. We've documented it. We've collected all the data. We run statistics on it on a regular basis. Everything we've developed and deliver is research-based, and we can provide that research to all of our practitioners and our clinicians and their clients as well.